thing of it is that's true. They do not have evidence that proves that they are taking their oaths of office for we the people, nor do they have evidence that proves that I wasn't just held up by gunpoint to create a dead fiction out of or to create more millions of dollars off of my character to perform and create trusts within the government's courts to suggest for giving me yet another ticket where it's to stage me up just the same way as it always has been, same gameplay as it's always been. But they can't prove that they don't have evidence that they aren't trafficking me. They need to prove without a shadow of a doubt that they aren't trafficking me as a corporation, a dead fiction inside of the courts to suggest that they are legit trafficking me. They can't go and take the many reports I've made to the police to suggest that they are working to actually investigate a crime of premeditated murder, premeditated identity theft, premeditated hacking, hijacking my name, ruining my reputation, calling job after job, stopping me from working, or stopping the employer from wanting to employ me, to then hacking my phones, stopping me in any gig app community I try, to then take away my availability to even have my own printer. My brother lied to me, suggesting that he didn't have that printer. That printer was never given to him when I saw it at his house, the Lexmark Pro printer. So that's to suggest we don't want him to have a printer for a very specific reason that at that time I couldn't see, but it was my own money that paid for that printer. It was my own money that they stole specifically so that I wouldn't have the resource in the future that they thought might help me in the end game of being able to write these things up, put these things in affidavits, send these affidavits to the police, send these affidavits to Health and Human Services, send these affidavits to the FBI, send these affidavits to identitytheft.gov and the IC3, because they need to prove without a shadow of a doubt that they have evidence that they aren't legitimately trafficking my person. And they can't, because that's exactly what this is. State appointed attorney, that's through maritime law. That's to suggest they have a corporation within their corporation. The remote Zoom call, me making it absolutely imperative that it's online and not in person, so that they don't have to smell my person or deal with my person in person. To then show without a reasonable doubt by senses, keen senses, enough to be able to be human enough to reach discovery. More on the Zoom call. Granting me more money copay for their fictional corporation that is fictional because they don't call me back. Just the same way the prosecutor can't call me back, the same way they can't suggest that the state of Minnesota is a person, same way that they can't suggest that witness 1, witness 2 is good enough to take me in the first place when they're not allowing me to face my accuser. But oh, my dad can face his accuser being his own 4-year-old daughter? Explain that one to me. My dad legitimately gets away with rape, and he can face his own accuser, knowing far well the name of the person that he fucking did shit to. But they're not even allowing me to persons' names of. They're not even allowing me to persons' names of what they're putting on this paperwork against me. So next, it's to create the avenue for the blight in my life, or the added crime in my life, to stop me from even being able to make my bills, make my payments. So it's identity theft times creating the avenues by proxy in order to destroy my character and reputation. So there's reputation, assault all over my life. They've not only assaulted my person, but they assaulted my home. They gaslit me in my home, and they even were breaking my home, causing the R value and the rating to go down of this home. However they did it, but I know that's how those bills went up. And then they're utilizing it to not perform any kind of jurisdiction over the actual case, to be able to suggest that they have the right to suspend my license while not working within their legal right to go after the rightful people and investigate the seriousness of the crime that I've discovered. And this has been a long pattern in my life, because I've been trafficked since I was a kid through the court systems, through child protective services that never did a fucking thing to protect me, that never did a fucking thing to protect my sister. So that they want to utilize these crimes to then make it to where they don't have the availability of showing any proof that they're actually working in the oaths that they were given of office to protect people from all enemies, foreign and domestic, because they are working within a crime syndicate themselves. So next is the life insurance policies, where my brother was an insurance agent. Being the insurance agent that he was, and being a fraudulent brother, and being a fraudulent broker, and putting me into a house with intent to take my life and take my house and take my life, to perform the rest of the identity theft, to leave me in financial ruins and financial sabotage, to then as well do a life insurance policy, because he's a fraudulent person. He's a fraudulent person to leave his own mother in the condition that she's in, his own sister in the condition that she's in, and to be performing these crimes to get away with crimes is literally taking my life, not only my actual life, but taking my life in full scopes of the measure, my whole lifespan, a whole life long of being poisoned up repeatedly, and then them to like not want to side with the victims in the crime, but then wanting to side with the perpetrators of the criminals. So then you have people that actually know about the face charges within the county that are sending you information already that they know about prior to the crime that you have been charged with threats of violence, and it's a serious manner. I think the violence itself is the threat, and I think the abuse is the threat, not the reactive state of mind that they can get a person in to then suggest that they are the abuser because they psychologically ruined my life. No, they don't get to do that. They don't get to say that. And if they do, then they need to bring it into the courts of evidence that there is no evidence that they haven't been trafficking my person in this way to perform this hacking, and they should be doing ethical hacking just based on the monstrosity of evidence that I've already given the police reports, to then, without a shadow of a doubt, have it be, what's it called, where they have the absolute reason to work in that fashion. It's not like they need to pull warrants or anything like that. It's legitimate. Like, there's enough evidence without a shadow of a doubt that there's something to be seen here that's beyond the surface of the crime itself that they're trying to get away with, and then working that crime instead of investigating the crime and going after the rightful perpetrators of the crime. They're utilizing the crime itself that they're perpetrating or allowing to be perpetrated on my person to then use to create a felon, and trying to create it to be a multiple felony case to then suggest that that's why they're utilizing the Stingray operation, or the operation as it is of gang stalking, in order to target me and my person, so that they can go ahead and feel all ho donkey pokey poke with their whole bullshit, because they're trying to charge me with the threats of reckless disregard risk when they have been the arson on my body, on my mind the whole time, being the reckless disregard themselves against me, not me against anybody. It's me looking for resources of actions for these people to be taken down for the crimes that they've committed against my life for a long time. But without a shadow of a doubt, they're not even trying to allow me into the medical institutions to discover the crime without a shadow of a doubt, to perform physical tests in an appropriate time, in an appropriate manner, to get the evidence that would prove without a shadow of a doubt that there was a high level of an arsenic poisoning or a high level of metals, which I do have the paperwork for the high level of metals. So maybe I should send that too, along with all the other proofs that I've already sent the police, that they should be working in my favor, that it's not a risk factor on my part, but the actual facts that I'm making these police reports and making very clear statements of the reports as far as what's been being done to me, because I have never, ever, ever been able to talk because of the poisoning. You can talk, you can like move about your life as like you're on autopilot, but you can't do your own self. You see, if I was able to do my own self, maybe there'd be a different story here. But they're just defending the criminals here. They're defending my dad to get away with this rapey shit, and now they're trying to put me into a place where I can't even make it to my sister's surgery coming up, heart transplant. And that's a serious situation. She's scared for her life. She needs her family to be there for her, and they're trying to allow it to where it's going to be, oh, everyone's on loose ends in the life that would be there for another. And my brothers are fucking assholes. They're fucking assholes for what the fuck they've done to me. The police have enough probable cause. That's what I was trying to think of before. They have enough probable cause of evidence to go after the rightful parties of the crime against me, do the ethical hacking back to the very unethical hacking that I've received, to get the information back that I've even submitted, to even get the information back of my journal being stolen from me, to even get the information back that would be suggesting to the monstrosity of the syndicate, and the syndicate at large being a large syndicate that's protecting these child traffickers and these sex traffickers to be able to fucking get away with these fucking crimes against me and my person, to steal me up from my mind, keep me poisoned up for my whole life, and fuck me up completely, to steal my life identity, and make and rake in money on me. My energy, my time, my resources, my jobs, my love life. My life is my property, not any part of their fucking property. And for them to even suggest that I don't have the right to be pissed off about this crime against me in this magnitude, to this magnitude, is just beyond me. It's beyond me how they can even fucking rebuttal that in any kind of circumstance whatsoever. These cops are fucking killers then. These judges are fucking killers then, just like my fucking pedophile father is, and they're protecting these pedophiles, and they're protecting these sex traffickers, and they're protecting the criminals to do this crime against me, and then they want to say that it's not an all-out assault and an arson on my fucking life, on my fucking being, on my fucking brain. Okay. You tell me what you would do. What would you do? You're in this situation. You just came out of long-standing poisoning, and they're just sending you a whole arson of more abuse, left and fucking right. Then they want to steal up my fucking transportation, to steal up my motive ability to even work a fucking job at all. Get in the way of even going helping a neighbor, for crying out loud. Just get in the way, make it to where it's like, oh, we're just gonna at least make it to where this guy might not want to be around it. Just might. Okay. Again, it's warfare by proxy, covert war strategists working in psychological detrimental abuses, psychological operations to perform this covert malignant narcissism that they just completely get away with while taking your life in full levers of it away from you. Sure, I don't have a chip in my hand. If I did, I'm sure it would be shut off too. I'd go into the store just for a slice of pizza and be like, doo doo doo, and they'd be like, doo doo doo. Sorry, access denied. Looks like your accounts were shut off. Next is like you're speaking out online, right? You're like, this and that is happening, and this is what is actually happening to me, and I'm reaching out for help, and they'll be like, oh, we gotta shut him off now for sure. They'll shut you off in the double time simply because you spoke out about their fucking criminality that they're trying to work over on fucking people. Yay to the World Health Organization and the uh, World Economic Forum in their 15-minute cities where you won't need a car to get anywhere. Oh, yeah, then they won't even allow you to go anywhere either. But that's just another side of this perspective of slavery. It's slavery is exactly what it is. And if people don't want to raise up awareness about it, then I feel sorry for you and your children. Y'all are a bunch of oranges and yellows and blues. And I'm sorry, but even the oranges are y'all are fucked. Everyone in the country is fucked if they don't want to step up and actually side with the people that are out here suggesting to the monstrosity of the crimes that are happening to them in these worst of ways. And these crimes are the grimiest of dirtiest type of crime that could ever be placed over a person's life. So I'm sorry to be a little bit angry. I'm sorry. I think anyone else in this entire planet would be a whole lot more angrier and taking it into levels that I just haven't, and I've been holding tight because I've been writing up a mission for artworks. Okay. So you mean to tell me that because I'm having to move differently in my life, I'm having to live differently in my life, I'm having to be forced into homelessness, I'm having to be forced to all of this extraditional blight in my life, that they're just going to use that blight for another reason to come and harass me? Like having my lawnmower stolen in the first place, or switcherooed with his lawnmower that I know my lawnmower was it, that was not my lawnmower after that day. That they were here gaslighting me in my house. My walls were white. They went completely yellow. My pan was completely smeared with something that was left in the oven to create all that smoke and all that smell, to get rid of whatever smell that they performed in here, to come back into the home, to realize and look back at her like I'm really in a dangerous position because I'm sitting here like legitimately after that having to front with these people that I don't know the extent of their crimes, specifically because I was scared out of my fucking mind. I was in fear for my life. I was in fear for my safety. I was in fear for my home. I had just gotten out of homelessness of a long time, not having a place of my own. And then this is how these people are going to play me out, just simply like my own accident being set up in fucking Blaine there, taking a delivery. Smack! There goes my job, there goes my car, there goes my everything. And this sheriff's are like, oh, there's nothing to see here with this kid. But that chick got $85,000 for doing 25 over, veering to the side of the road to hit my car, mind you. Like, this far away from the gas tank, and I think that was the plan, is to hit that gas tank, cause a spark, fly past it, boom, I blow up and I'm all fucked up now, right? Possibly, hopefully dead. And my brother even admitted to setting that up. Right in a text message. They're sent into the police reports. You can't tell me that they don't have enough probable cause for a fucking crime. They're all a bunch of bitches. Not to mention that it just being the sheriffs of Anoka County, no police, no anybody else that could be potentially on, not the crime syndicate's family of this trafficking that's been trafficking my life since I was born, because inside of the, okay, at first when I got discovery, all of the CDs were cracked. So I submitted back to them, said, this is fucked up because I need this in the timeliest of fashion and it needs to be taken care of in an ethical manner to get to my person without it being cracked. They finally sent me more back. I got 3 of the 4 CDs back on point, and the fourth one was cracked. It tells me that there's still something on that fourth one that I can't get to be read. That would be without a shadow of a doubt why they never took it to court and why they never pursued anything else, because they know without a shadow of a doubt that I would have been able to ask and say there's no evidence that suggests that these conversations on this CD or on any of these CDs would suggest to the magnitude of the crime not being the crime itself against me and targeting me as a person, because that's what I personally discovered on one of those is that it's seeming to be too obvious to me to suggest to a regular officer, oh no, Bill, or whoever it was, I got this one. You just continue to eat your Dairy Queen or whatever, to like suggest that they didn't want anybody else on the scene of the crime besides their own partners within syndicate to be there on the scene of the crime so that they could hide all and any evidence that could have been there. Mind you, shutting off their body cameras, not taking a personal what happened on that case and scene of the crime from me, not taking a personal reporting from me with their body camera being on, suggesting that they're already done here. No, you're not. I said, no, you're not. You never got me on camera to report what happened here. Not even once. You guys didn't even approach me at all. You used the lady like a crisis actor. She acted like a crisis actor. You guys all seem like crisis actors, and everyone in play was seemingly right on spot, right on time, right there, ready for the crime. Okay. So here I am being played out of my job, of my livelihood, out of my car, homeless, fighting homelessness, having just been poisoned from Emily, running away from Emily to get to a place where I was safe, where I hadn't felt safe in such a fucking long time before then. Finally felt safe for a little while, and had I known at that time that Jesse would have been performing with Kenny to snake away all of my NTF money, leave me poisoned, and have me poisoned again from all the times that I was poisoned prior, not being able to collectively put those things in my memory because I didn't have those things in my memory at that time because of being poisoned. Had I like in the recent, had I been able to get away from them for long enough, I would have been able to put those things into perspective and suggest to myself that I wanted to personally, for a long time now, stay away from not only my brothers, but Jesse himself and anybody else from my past that would even come up as a question to me. A question to me about how they wanted to move inside of my life to perform this identity theft, steal my money, steal away my availability of getting out from under, because my brother would either like it with me dead, homeless, in jail, or dead or suicided. Basically, is the only options that they're giving me. Is like, you get something where we create a problem for you so bad where you want to take your life, or we're going to find a way to take your life, or we're going to poison you up to take your life, or we're going to instigate a proxy love life for you so that we can take your life. These punk ass bitches are fucking punk ass bitches and they deserve to go to fucking hell.